Legacy Cannabis Podcast, episode number 7 right here with the highest host, Adam Mill. It's a great to be here, and I'm honored today because we chilling with an amazing guest, dude, who's been part of the weed industry for over 2 decades from NorCal and now is in Michigan. He's part of he's CEO of Left Coast Holdings. I'm talking about Willie McKenzie, dude. Willie, what's up, baby? How you feeling?
What's up, Adam? Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
We're just chilling out, staying high. Start the show with the blunt, and find out some interesting things about the legacy cannabis people in our space, because we've been going through a whole lot in this industry, dude.
Absolutely. I think it's super important what you guys are doing. Putting the spotlight on legacy folks who are doing things in the rec industry.
Yes, dude. A shout out to Respect My Region for making this happen. I see it says you were from NorCal. You grew up in Berkeley?
Yeah, I grew up in Albany. It's like right next to Berkeley, but nobody's ever heard of it.
So it's like one of those small towns next to the bigger town. So we just claimed the bigger town.
Exactly.
So being in NorCal, like the Berkeley area college, it's always a hippie town. Were you around cannabis a lot growing up? Like, how did you get involved, like being in this cannabis?
Yeah, I mean, it's a super urban area. I started smoking when I was like 13.
Right.
So when I found weed, I found like the answer to everything. It was amazing. And so I started selling weed in high school, buying ounces, breaking them down to dime bags, selling weed out of my little Altoids canister at school.
Love the story. Love it. It's so familiar with a lot of legends in this space, dude. Well, I want to go back though. You said 13. Who was it that you got high with? I mean, you're 13. Like, you're still, a young kid. Who's out here smoking weed with you?
All my friends were smoking when we were that age. I mean, it was a sleepover. We got high. I think I laughed for like 4 hours straight. We were watching Telemundo in Spanish.
Stop it. Did you guys know Spanish?
Of course I speak Spanish. I'm from the Bay, man.
I don't know. What fucking we out here. I'm from LA. I know a little bit of Spanish. I don't know a whole bunch to understand Telemundo, Televisión, dude.
I don't think at the time I didn't really speak Spanish that well, but my cousins moved from Spain and live with me, and so I speak Spanish through them. And I've been in the construction industry forever as well. So
okay, the communication, dude. So you got high. You were at your homie's house, and one of the homies just had it and said, "We're gonna smoke weed tonight."
And yeah, I mean they had already been smoking, and I was trying to get in on it, so.
You weren't scared. You were like, "Nah, I don't know. Drugs are bad. I'm in the DARE program. I'm cool. Just say no."
No, I mean maybe a little bit younger than that, but I was easily corruptible. I was looking for something,
He's like, "Let's get it, dude." And then and you laughed all night watching Telemundo. You're like, "This is it. I'm with it."
This is it. And I think I probably smoked every day from then until like 28 when I went to rehab.
Oh, what? Okay. Hold on. We're gonna get to that. That was a big jump because it says you started smoking in like 13, and then you started selling in high school. You just got tired of buying the weed, and you're just like, let me. What was it?
I mean, I grew up in the Bay. I looked up to dudes that were hustling and like friends' older brothers, right, out there doing things. I don't come from money. Like I saw these dudes had money. I'm like, man, I got to start doing that.
The influence. You were just influenced.
I was easily influenced at that age. Absolutely.
How were you in school though? Were you a good student? Were you a part of like the activities or?
Yeah, I mean, I played football. I partied a lot. I was like the party dude. Mr. Saturday Night in the fucking senior yearbook.
Let's go.
Throwing the Ragers at my house when my parents were gone. Always had the weed, always had the liquor. I was robbing Andronico every Friday, getting all bottles for everybody. That was my thing,
You were just living. You're like, I'm out here. We'll go turn up. Yeah, and then so you're out here partying, selling weed, chilling out, and then you have to become an adult sometime, right? You started.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty smart. I didn't have to really work that hard. I could be high in school and drunk in class and kind of cruise through. I went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and I brought a pound of weed down there and kind of set myself up in the dorms and started hustling out of my Pontiac Grand Am GT.
So you were just out here just providing the friends and family with cannabis throughout like school, just paying for
with
yourself.
that good Northern California chronic back in the day when it didn't even have a name. It was just
No
good
names. That NorCal, the Cali-O.
Yep.
Did you how were the parents during this? Did they know you were smoking? Were they trying to get involved? Were you a good student? So they're like, Willie will get over it. It's a phase.
My parents gave me a long leash, and I think that's a really good way to raise your kids. They would rather have, my friends chilling at my house than have us out, getting in trouble elsewhere. But I wound up hanging myself with that leash at some point, but that didn't have nothing to do with them.
It was just relax, just chilling, living, thinking you were on top of the world.
Yeah, they were good.
So you're out here going to school, selling weed, got the pound in the dorm. People are starting to know Willie as, you're Mr. Saturday Night in the yearbook. You're in college now, chilling. What made you get like super involved in it? Because I mean, you're a CEO of Left Coast Holdings right now in Michigan, so you made a whole move. Did you just see like? Was cannabis just so involved? You're like, this is going to be my future. What were you going to school for? I know there was no subject. There was no cannabis in college.
Ag business, agricultural business.
Stop it. Yes, bro.
Yeah. I mean,
just basically, how do I make money off fucking agriculture, just growing shit?
Yeah. I mean, I love agriculture. It's pretty dope. And I come from the city, so it was one of those things where it was something I could get into school with, really. I'm not a fucking engineer. So it was a good way for me to get in. I wound up, I partied my way out of school after 4 years and started a business, but cannabis was always like a huge part of my life, both as an everyday smoker. And then, I started growing once I moved back to the Bay. First, like a little 2-light garage setup, then a 12-lighter. Then we went up north into the hills and started growing. And that's when things got more interesting,
So you were just started like, let me see. What'd you start with? Like clones in the garage?
Yep.
Originally
started with clones in the garage, clones and rock wool.
Rock wool. That was gonna be the next one. It's either soil or rock wool. That's the first ones.
Yeah. It was back when you had to really talk about like tomato growing at the hydro store.
Yes.
Yeah. Shit was really underground.
I mean, this was during a time, where it's still federally illegal, but the DEA was really cracking down on like shops and home grows and really trying to put those dollars into it. Were you at all like any have any like run-ins, any encounters, or were you just like pretty?
No, I mean, I had a lot of encounters with the law, but I never got in big trouble for anything. I mean, it's one of those things where you get lucky and skate by like on a regular basis. But we lived in Oakland. The cops had a lot more pressing shit to deal with, so they weren't really tripping off home grows.
So you're like, I just got 2 plants in a fucking garage. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
How did that turn out though? How was the first grow? It turned out pretty good. You remember?
I mean, we killed plants for days, and I was like, I started taking fucking real drugs around that time, so I was halfway not even paying attention. Luckily, my cousin was living with me, and he's a pretty solid hippie, so he started taking care of the plants, and he wound up being like the real dope grower, and I kind of wound up being like the broker. And
yeah, he was a farmer, you were the businessman. You're like, exactly. You provide the products, I will make sure we get the products out there to the people.
Exactly.
What teamwork. So you found it. So you started your grow in 2006, then you started moving. You said you moved to the mountains, and was it outdoor then? You discovered the sun?
Yeah, I mean, my cousin's the one who headed up to Humboldt first, and then he I don't know if you've ever been up there, but like there's all kinds of crazy shit that goes on. So he might get run off his property in the middle of the season and call me with, 300 half mature plants in a U-Haul, and I need somewhere to go, man. They got ran off the property. The dude was tweaking for like 2 weeks, and so I'd help him get another property. So then I bought a property, and then I started going up there. I'm like, fuck, this is amazing. What the fuck are we doing down in the Bay? So I wound up starting to I had a construction company, but I would spend as much time as humanly possible up on the hill. And then I eventually moved up there with my wife and lived off grid for a couple of years and really lived that farmer lifestyle.
So were you ever just out there earlier with the whole cannabis thing when it was before, when during the Prop 215 days, or were you kind of more behind the scene, just kind of hooking the people up? Look, I got my little group here. You guys can get it. My boy's growing it. I got y'all. How did whole?
Yeah, I was out there. We had I had a construction company in 2009. We were doing grow rooms, but general contractor quality grow rooms. We were on the front page of the Oakland Tribune. My dad was teaching in Oakland. All the teachers would come and be like, "Is this your son?" Yep, that's my son. Building grow rooms.
Your dad's a teacher?
Yeah, both my parents are teachers.
In public school?
Elementary public school, yeah.
Well, yo, that's awesome, dude. So they probably, they're like, yo, we deal with kids every day. We're gonna we're gonna raise this kid. We're not gonna be super strict, dude.
Yeah, no, they were cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. So you started a general contractor business, you said, in 2009. And was that for building grow rooms, or was it just in general, just hire me just to do contracting because you were?
Yeah, I mean, we started off as a small residential construction company, and then we built it into 100 employees, doing commercial, big apartment complexes, HOA, condo associations. But I was always interested in weed. That was always my side thing.
Passion.
Always.
Yeah.
And then, so we were a little bit early to the game. We built some really cool projects, excavate out under somebody's, this lawyer's house who had hella bread, and excavate under their whole house, build a whole floor and have it be a grow room. Or we built out a fat ass cell tower up in Ukiah one time, shit like that. But, people were still really underground about it. People were still stealing power. It wasn't really people dumping a ton of money into it. At the time, everybody was still growing in houses, so we were a little bit early. And growing is really where it was at, growing and brokering.
Well, now, I mean, the way it is now is the farms are getting sourced by all these companies. Companies are just popping up left and right with no product, and they just find in the farms. And here you are with Left Coast Holdings, just out here because you were just brokering. I mean, you started doing all the farms. You discovered the outdoor life. You went up there, and then you just started building, just not these just hippie hoop houses or these fucking little random outdoor things. You actually put in general contracting and built out these stable rooms that were legit.
Yeah, and my farms had legit greenhouses, big 4,000 square feet, fucking fully powered. We'd run indoor in there, during the winter, and just be fucking glowing up on the hill, which eventually wound up getting me code compliance issues from the county, and got to shut down in the end. But it was a good while lasting.
Because of power, or
no? I mean, we were running off big ass diesel generators. We were all off grid, but it was just so visible. There were some people that moved up on the hill, a couple from Marin County. They started complaining to people, and some of the neighbors started snitching. And
lames, dude.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck this. And this was 215, so it was compliant?
Yeah, I mean, we'd have at each property, we'd have 15 prescriptions, in fucking plastic, stapled to a fucking sheet of plywood, and posted up so that the choppers could see it when they fly by.
if they zoom in, they're like, "Oh, this is medical. It's medical."
Yeah, this is medical schmedical.
Medical. I know we say medical schmedical, but I feel like, I say this before the 215 days. I enjoyed them a lot more than what we have going on now in California with Prop 64.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. It was like super gray area. As long as like the sheriff in your county was cool with it, you were good. The fires weren't so fucking crazy yet. The fires started getting too crazy and sucking us in and having the plants all covered with fucking
Do you think
smoke
those
and
fires
dust.
were intentional for the growers?
I don't think so.
Ooh.
Hold
Because
on,
there
let me get
was
my
a lot of,
tinfoil hat.
Look, listen. That's a whole other show. That's a whole other episode. We ain't talking about that right now. We're talking about William McKenzie here, CEO of Left Coast Holdings. So sleep over, get lit. You realize I love cannabis. You start selling weed through school. You get some finances. You start a business. You start growing. You start building grow houses for people. You build a whole bunch of shit, but you're like, my passion is cannabis. Let me show them right. And then how'd you end up? You said earlier you stopped smoking weed at 28.
Yeah, I got heavy into the opiates.
Oh no.
For a few years, and I really, you can be functional alcoholic, you can be a functional a lot of things, but once you get deep in that opiate game, it's pretty much a wrap. So like, I lost everything. I lost my business, my house, my fucking trucks, motorcycles, you name it. I lost it.
All the toys.
I went to rehab for like 7 months, and I came back and started building again, and here I am a decade later. That was February 25th, 2012. I went in.
And you just everything, just no cannabis, no alcohol, nothing.
No, I mean, it's like, if you really go through what I went through, like losing it all like that and the shit that I've been through, like, I just can't even chance it, I mean, I literally fucking everything.
No,
Literally
I understand.
everything.
Yeah.
Came out, had to keep my head down, grind for years, watching everybody else we're still balling. And so it's been a long road, and I ain't going back.
Yeah, fuck that. And this is like this is like before the whole dabbing and everything too, because I know there was a lot of people that got cured from opiates because of dabs and there's the heavy hits and stuff. But I'm glad you're good right now and you here chilling with us and you got everything. You're in, where are you at now?
I'm in northern Michigan. We moved out here. I got licensed out here 2019. We started getting licenses out here, and I was flying back and forth, and then COVID hit. And so my wife and I loaded up in our trailer and we pulled it out here. We camped on the farm for like 6 weeks and decided that Michigan was raw. And so we sold our place in California in Calaveras County, and we moved out here.
And now you, what's going on with Willie? What's going on now? What's going on with Left Coast Holdings? What are we doing?
Michigan. So we have a 120 acre farm. We got 28 acres of it fenced. We run 11,000 plants outdoor. We got
hold on. 11,000 plants. Dude, that's so much work.
Yeah, we got a squad. There's like 15 dudes that take care of plants.
Okay. 11,000 acres. You got
11,000 plants, 28
11,000 plants.
It's like a 10 acre canopy. I mean, like, this is the shit I was dreaming about when we were growing in smart pots up in the fucking clay rock hills, running out of water in the end of July and stealing water out of the creek and getting chased by fish and game. Was like, man, one day we'll be able to fucking grow this shit row cropped in an agricultural field. So we bought an old organic pickle farm, and we got 11,000 plants in the native soil. It's good shit.
Is the pickle farm like cucumbers?
Yeah, like small cucumbers, pickling cucumbers.
So it's already ready, and which is crazy because cucumbers are fruits. So you out here, you got that fruit land.
Got the fruit land, exactly, and the soil here is dope.
So they
Good
was
shit.
already ready. It was already used to grow plants. So you're like, let's get it, and just converted
Yep.
it to cannabis.
Yeah. So
What?
we got the farms ripping. It looks really fucking good right now. We got a raw ass grower from, that was the thing. Like I'm a decent grower. My cousin is a good grower, but he's like a hippie grower. And so the dude that's really running the show now, Charlie McKenzie, unrelated to me, but has an excellent last name.
It's
You know, he's a dude with a horticulture degree, and he was running big greenhouses for cut flowers, and then he ran big hemp farms. And so we brought him up here from Georgia, and he's been just absolutely crushing it.
So you guys just sniped out the crew. You're like, we're gonna go out here and get the crew to make these
Yeah.
dreams come true.
It's all about the team, man. It's all about the team.
What?
Absolutely.
120-acre farm, 11,000 plants. And what do you guys do with this? Is it just all flower? You guys process? Is it
Yes. We got a big extraction facility on the farm. We do distillate, live resin, live rosin, a bunch of different shit like that. And then we also have
kitchen edibles?
kitchen edibles, pre-rolls, gummies, 5 packs of joints, little dog walker joints, big fucking joints, joints with extracts in them.
Infused joints.
Yeah, exactly.
Personal chewables.
Yeah.
Dang, you're out here. And you guys are you guys just you guys have your own brand, or do a lot of people source from your farm?
Yeah, both. I mean, we have a pretty big wholesale business, and then we have our own in-house brand. We have a brand called Caddy that's like kind of value brand, large pack, large quantities, cheap prices, which is pretty good in the Michigan market right now. I'm sure everybody knows that the Michigan market's pretty hurt. And then we have an effects-based line too. That's a in-house line, Heritage Provisioning, that we sell in our stores. And 65% of the products that are sold in our stores are things that we produce ourselves at our farm.
Nice.
So that's a pretty good ratio right there. That with the market the way it is, that's the only place the margins at. I mean, the margins on wholesale are fucking tough.
Yeah, it seems like people are racing to the bottom, but getting your brand and creating a demand. And you got your own storefronts out in Michigan?
Yeah, so we have 4 stores right now. I got a 5th that we're working on in Lansing. And then I got a couple more properties where I'm vying for licenses in some pretty cool spots down by Detroit that I've been working on, like working on the fucking ordinance and digging. Yeah, down there.
Yeah, this is how I learned about Michigan when I used to go there, because I used to go for all the events and stuff. So
That's
you
right.
put your hand up to
Yep.
explain where you are in Michigan. So Detroit's over here, and then we did a lot of the cups like over here
Yep.
in like the middle
Exactly
area.
what it is.
And then when you said northern Michigan, I put that other hand up because I know that YP area is up here.
So we're up here.
Okay.
So we're in Manistee. It's a little like vacation town. And then, I got a store there in Manistee, and then we have the farm like 10 minutes inland. It's a good setup. I love it.
You guys still growing cucumbers?
No, we're not growing cucumbers.
Have you guys tried
Huh?
Have you guys tried or thought about it, or because I know cucumbers have a lot of PM on it.
The Michigan market, I mean, man, there's so much mold spores in the air in Michigan, and the testing standards are really high here too. So it's tough to grow like smokable flower outdoor. It's not easy. You got to be a G to do it.
And I feel like you are that G that's making it happen, Willie.
I mean, I certainly fucking hope so. We're working on it. We got a dope ass sprayer this year. I think is going to make the difference. On target.
I mean, it's awesome to hear the story of you just from the Bay Area, Berkeley-ish, chilling, Berkeley adjacent, and then just having the passion for cannabis, and like everyone else, getting the ounce or getting the ounce and then breaking it down and hooking up the friends and family, making money while smoking the weed and realizing that you could keep growing with it, and you did grow with it, and you had some obstacles in life like we all face. You overcame them, and now you in another legal state with some
Yep.
dispensaries, with acres, with 11,000 motherfucking plants. Oh my god, dude, that is so much work. So,
Yeah.
look, I appreciate you. I appreciate all the growers, because if without you guys, none of us would be out here smoking our weed or living this life or having this culture. So I appreciate you for taking your passion and growing with it and providing for the whole state of Michigan, dude.
I appreciate that. I appreciate all the growers too. I appreciate you guys for, putting on this podcast. I think what you guys are doing with Respect My Region is dope.
Yes, dude. The Legacy Cannabis Podcast, dude. It's crazy. It's how is everything in Michigan though? Are the laws kind of crazy out there? Because I know you came from California, so you got to experience some of the laws here and now living in Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan, I wish that the states would kind of like when a state goes rec, I wish that they would kind of look at what the other states have done and kind of pick and choose the best processes, but they don't seem to do that. They all just kind of do their own thing, and each and every one of them fucks something up royally. So, like there's no enforcement here in Michigan. You could do whatever you want. That's why the market's trash. This is what
I
it
mean,
is.
there was a couple there was a couple. The East Coast is stepping up a little bit with their weed. When I was in Michigan, there was some good weed out there. It just wasn't often. It wasn't like as readily available. But there's like one or two people that'll come. But it's like that craft cultivated, like this is my special room, my special cultivar.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to front. You don't have to front. The weed in Michigan is not California weed. I mean,
No,
I
not
don't
at all.
smoke
But I'm
weed.
saying there's some. You guys are stepping up. I mean, there's a little. I mean, the first time I smoked garlic was in Michigan, like 2000, 16, 17, I think. And
Yeah,
now,
I mean, a
like
lot
that.
of it's got to do with the testing standards. Like, there's good growers here, but you have to dry your weed here at 55% humidity maximum, and you have to flash dry it so to pass testing for smokable flowers. So everybody's weed is super fucking dry and it's just
Right. That
crunches.
crisp. Yeah,
Not
yeah.
good.
I mean,
Not good.
that's kind of what happens with legal cannabis everywhere. Cause I mean, in California as well, when they have to test it and then they have to package it and then they have to give it to the distributor, then they have to get it to the store. And then when it's in the store, it's on the shelf. And then who knows how long it's been on the shelf or been in the lab, whatever. And by the time you
Right.
get it, it might not be as fresh as it once was when we used to get it straight from the
Right.
farmers, when they used to come down from the mountain to the dispensary, drop off their bags. Look, I just cut this down. This is new, blah, 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 blah. And we would get that shit fresh.
Yep. Like the old school Berkeley patient group days when you could smoke
Oh,
inside.
hell yeah, dude. So what's coming up with you guys got any new exciting strains coming up? Anything I know you got a new shop that you're opening up.
Yeah, we just hooked up with a couple dope brands that we're working with that I'm pretty excited about. On the extraction side of things, I'm really excited. We got Marcus from Humboldt Terp Council's coming out here with his genetics. We just signed a deal with him, so I'm pretty juiced. I think he's going to be putting out the best extracts in Michigan, all the best live products.
Well, I can't wait. I can't wait to come to Michigan and check them out.
Absolutely, you should. It's a beautiful
I
place.
will, dude. Listen, Willie, I know we could keep talking forever, but we getting the wrapped up. We getting the wrap up sign over here. We getting the wrap up sign.
Wrap that shit up, B.
Wrap that shit up, B. Look, it's been awesome. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day. Look, dude, 11,000 plants. I don't even understand how you're even here right now talking to us, dude. I appreciate you. We appreciate you at RMR. Thanks for joining us on the Legacy Cannabis Podcast. Anything you want to say? Where can people find you? Where can people find the products?
Yeah.
Social
Heritage
website?
at Heritage Farm Co. on Instagram, at Heritage Provisioning on Instagram, at Caddy Cannabis on Instagram. Yeah.
Is Caddy with the D or a T?
CADDY, like the ride.
Like a Cadillac, like the Caddy.
Yes, sir.
Dude, well, thank you so much for hanging. I learned so much talking with you, Willie. Dude, William McKenzie, CEO, Left Coast Holdings. Thanks for hanging out with us. And of course, you know what this is, the Legacy Cannabis Podcast, part of the North American Weed Tour right here with RMR, dude. You already know we got all these products reviewing, all these podcasts. Make sure you check out all the content. Appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. Once again, it's the highest host, Adam Mill. Till next time, see y'all. Bye.
All right, bro.